Good afternoon. We're going to get the webinar started. We have 2 participants on right now, and we are going to record our webinar so that we can archive it on the website. And you can always go back and listen to it again or get some information or share it with any other people. If one of our participants could just let me know that you can hear me, there's a raise your hand button, or you could chat us and just kind of give us an acknowledgement that our sound is coming through all okay. That would be wonderful. Oh, thank you, Linda. Okay, great. So, welcome to Hunger and Harvest of the Month. We're going to talk about 2 things that we have found a great connection between, and it's myself. I am Erica Walther. I work at the Office of the State Superintendent of Education in D.C., commonly known as OSSE, O-S-S-E, and I'm joined by Melissa.
Hello, my name is Melissa Roark. I work at DC Hunger Solutions. You may know our partner, BRAC, the Food Research and Action Center, or just DC Hunger Solutions. But welcome, and I'm glad to be here.
Thanks. Okay, so a little overview about what we're going to talk about today. We are going to do an overview of both DC Hunger Solutions and the Office of the State Superintendent of Education. We are going to talk about hunger in DC and how school meals and combating hunger are connected. We're going to do a little overview of the Healthy Schools Act. And then we'll also talk about the OSSE Farm to School program, and then we'll dive into why I think most of you are here about this Harvest of the Month program and the volunteer opportunity that you have signed up for or are looking to sign up for in the coming months. So we will make sure that we get all that information across to you, and then we'll also have some time for questions. All right, and I see the 2 things that you can hear us, but you had a little trouble hearing Melissa. So we'll make sure that we, when we switch talking, we'll lean into the computer a little better. Thanks so much for those.
Okay, so I just wanted to give a brief overview of DC Hunger Solutions. Many of you probably know who we are, but since we're recording this, I want to give those who may not know who we are a chance to learn more about us before they commit to something. We were founded in 2002 by the Food Research and Action Center, which is an anti-hunger advocacy group in Washington, D.C. And our mission is to create a hunger-free community and improve the nutrition, health, economic security, and well-being of low-income D.C. residents. So basically, we work to end hunger and end poverty in Washington, D.C. And the 3 ways that we try to do this are through policy work, participation in the food and nutrition programs, and education. So we work with stakeholders such as OSSE and the DC Council to create and implement policies that help to end hunger and improve access to healthy, fresh, affordable food. A couple of examples are the Healthy Schools Act, which I'll discuss in a few slides. The other is we worked with DC Council last year to put money into the budget so that the minimum food stamp benefit for DC residents is $30 versus the average minimum benefit of $15 for the rest of the country. We also try to maximize participation in the food and nutrition programs such as SNAP, or better known as food stamps, WIC, and then the programs that I'll discuss such as school meals, school lunch, school breakfast, and after school meals. And then we also do education for various groups and audiences to discuss hunger, the fallacies of hunger in Washington, D.C., such as, obesity doesn't correlate with hunger, and also make sure that people know that there is hunger in D.C., even if you may not be able to see it everywhere all the time.
Great. So this is Erica again. An overview of how OSSE is involved in this. So I am the Farm to School Specialist, and I implement the Farm to School program through the Office of the State Superintendent of Education. OSSE's Farm to School program is one of the mandated programs through the Healthy Schools Act, And it includes initiatives that are really focused around tracking and promoting local food that's being used in the school meals that Melissa mentioned. We provide a lot of training and technical assistance for teachers, food service vendors, administration, community organizations, and the farmers as well. And we do relationship development with these farmers so that we can get their product into the school meals. We can get schools out to their farms. We provide a farm field trip grant to help support those field trips. And then we also have a partnership with Food Corps, which is a nationwide service organization that focuses on farm-to-school and school garden programs. We are a new Food Corps state this year, and OSSE acts as the host site for our service members. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the service members later.
So to backtrack, I'm just going to mention some facts about hunger in Washington, D.C. So currently, nearly 1 in 7 households struggles with hunger on a consistent basis. And this means, or doesn't necessarily mean, but a USDA report came out in 2014 showing that 13.4% of households in Washington, D.C. were food insecure between 2011 and 2013. And 5.2% had very low food security. So you may be asking yourself, what does food insecurity mean? Food insecurity is a term that is defined by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and it indicates that the availability of nutritionally adequate and safe food, or the ability to acquire such food, is limited or uncertain for a household. Very low food security has the same meaning, but families that suffer from very low food security cannot access this food due to the inability to purchase it, rather than maybe living in a food desert or having other obstacles between them and accessing this food. Additionally, 30.5% of households with children said they were unable to afford enough food between 2008 and 2012. And this is really significant because, as you probably know, nutrition plays a large part in development and success of children on a daily basis. And also, wards 7 and 8, which have the highest poverty, also have the highest obesity rates in Washington, D.C., showing that the two are linked. So you may think, oh, someone who is obese, maybe they eat too much or they, don't exercise, but they can also be food insecure and lack that access to the healthy, fresh, affordable food. So to move on, why is this project that Erica is going to discuss so important? It's important because school meals can help fight hunger. The school meal programs, school breakfast, school lunch, and then also after school meals, are administered by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and they are important because they provide consistent access to healthy meals for all students, but especially low-income students. And they also provide reimbursements to schools for serving these meals so that the programs are sustainable and it's not just a one-year stint. Additionally, students that participate in school breakfast and school lunch usually have better attendance or are shown to have fewer behavioral problems, improved test scores, and healthier diets. So students that can access school meals or eat school meals have consistent access to nutritionally adequate meals, to balanced meals, and are learning the healthy habits at school. To further discuss this issue, I'm going to go over the Healthy Schools Act. So the Healthy Schools Act was passed in 2010 in order to promote health and wellness in the schools. If you think about it, kids are in school from 8 a.m. in the morning, usually until past 3 p.m. for an after-school activity or a sport. And so schools are really a place where we can target those children and encourage healthy habits and teach healthy behaviors. So the Healthy Schools Act has 5 components. The first is healthy eating. So the main facets of this are that, 1, the meals are very healthy. You're going to go into these schools and it's not going to be what you remember from your days in the cafeteria if you're young or if you're old, even changed from a couple of years ago. Meals are full of whole grains, fresh fruits and vegetables, as Erica mentioned, local produce. They don't have a lot of added sugar or salt, and there's definitely no chocolate fudge pie sitting there. And on another note, all children receive free breakfast under the Healthy Schools Act. So it doesn't matter if you're paid, you're reduced price, or you qualify for free meals, you can have healthy and free breakfast at school. And this applies to all DC public and public charter schools. The Healthy Schools Act also has physical activity requirements in order to ensure that children are getting the maximum amount of physical education and activity they need per day to help them stay focused and thrive. It also focuses on teaching them healthy habits such as the importance of abstaining from tobacco and then promoting that through different policies. There's also the environmental literacy component, so students are taught about school gardens, and many schools have school gardens, and taught about how produce is grown and why caring for the environment is important. And lastly, the Healthy Schools Act really pushes schools to create healthy communities by providing technical assistance and information to teachers and promoting all of the components so that schools really are a healthy place for the children and don't just focus on the nutrition or the physical activity. So why is the Healthy Schools Act needed? Why should we care? So over 70% of DC students who attend DC public schools qualify for free and reduced price meals. And this shows that many of them are likely to come from households that struggle with food security and may not have access to those healthy, fresh, affordable foods. Therefore, the Healthy Schools Act ensures that they can get that nutrition at the school. Additionally, over 30% of school-aged children were overweight or obese in 2013. 80% of children do not get the USDA recommended 5 fruits and vegetables a day, and over 60% of students nationally do not get the CDC recommended amount of physical activity. So the Healthy Schools Act really bridges all components to ensure that students are eating healthy, they're getting the physical activity they need, they're learning about why it's important to eat healthy, how you can eat healthy, how to grow food, where it comes from, and really kind of creating and fostering their habits and desires to be healthy. So how can you help us and why we need you? We need you to promote good nutrition and make healthy eating fun and help students understand the connection between school gardens and school meals and how the two translate together. So a student may see a stick carrot growing in the garden, they may taste it and they may love it. Maybe there's carrots on the menu next week and they see that but they don't really want to try it, they're not sure, it's different. So really showing them that look, what you grow is also can be the same thing. You love carrots in the garden, we'll try them at school, and really helping them become champions of healthy eating. We also encourage you to become a school meals champion and really help students understand why it's important to be healthy, the importance of local food, and how they can be healthy by eating the cafeteria food. We also look to you to talk to them about their concerns about the food. Maybe you talk to a child and he doesn't like the food. Ask some questions. Why don't you like it? Is it the way it's prepared? If you have time. One thing I can do is once we know the month that you're volunteering, I can print out a school menu so you can look and see the Harvest of the Month menu item, which Erica will talk about, and then circle that on the days that are coming up in that month. So let's say it's cabbage, as it is in January. The child tries the cabbage on the day that you volunteer, and you can talk to them about how much they like it and how it's great, and say, look, what's being served next week? Try it then. So all in all, we need you to kind of help with the food corps members and also help promote the school meals and kind of teach them basic nutrition education and help us implement the Healthy Schools Act directly in the cafeteria. And with that, I'm going to give it to Erica.
Thanks, Melissa. So this Harvest of the Month program, you have all volunteered or hoping to volunteer in the future for what we're calling the Harvest of the Month program. OSSI was awarded a Farm to School grant through the USDA, and we chose to do a Harvest of the Month program. We're doing this for 7 months in 15 schools across DC. We have a good mix of DC public schools and DC charter schools, and we actually are able to do this because of our partnership with Food Corps. So Food Corps placed 13 service members across DC, and all of our service members are implementing this in their schools. And that helps us have just a body on the ground. After the November taste test, one of the things that came up was the service member said, you know, we really need some help doing this. We need a couple extra hands to talk to the kids, to help with plating and cooking and all that fun stuff. So they asked for us to help with the volunteers. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And we're going to start January. You can see here, this is the schedule that we're going on. So if you're only able to volunteer 1 month, you know, pick a month where it's a vegetable that maybe you really like, and that way you have a better chance interacting with the kids and encouraging them to eat the item. If you'd like to volunteer for multiple months, we'll take you. We can set you up at the same school each month so that you'd start to develop a relationship with that school and with that service member. And it's a great way to just get a little bit more involved in schools and have a good time with a whole bunch of kids because they get excited, and you'll see some pictures and stuff. So we'll go through that. So like Melissa said, it's January. Our cabbage taste test starts on Wednesday, so a week from yesterday, and we'll be going Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. In general, the taste tests happen that third week of every month, either Tuesday through Friday or Wednesday through Friday. So, overview of Harvest of the Month. Each month, a locally sourced fruit or vegetable is cooked and served as a taste test in the cafeteria at 15 schools across DC. So we are buying all of our produce from a farm called Miller Farms in Clinton, Maryland. It's a wonderful family-owned farm. They actually grow a lot there, and then they aggregate from smaller farms right around in their town. So Brad, our farmer, is able to get us whatever we need in the quantities that we need it, and we're supporting his business as well as the farmers in his area. A fun little tidbit about them is that they also have a bakery, and their sour cream donuts won Best Donut in DC, I think 2 years ago, and I sampled them when I was down there. They're wonderful. So implementation is by our Food Corps service members. So like I said, they're placed across DC. They're actually working in 18 schools, and we are using 15 of those schools. So they're mostly elementary, middle schools. We have 1 or 2 schools that have high schools there as well. So some of the promotional materials, I'm just going to flip to the next slide so you can see these. We're giving out monthly posters, monthly stickers, and we're also doing monthly table tents and recipe cards. So the table tent has just some really fun facts about the item, and they're put out on the cafeteria tables for the students to read during lunch that day. And the recipe cards, the service members will be giving out in their school, so they kind of have the freedom to do that how they see fit. So sometimes they give them out at parent nights, or they put them in the office. They're making those decisions. So the posters go up in the cafeteria, the stickers go out to the kids, and then this program banner, the program banner is hanging in the school all year so that when people come in, they know, oh, this school is participating in Harvest of the Month. The last little bit of this program is the evaluation component. So we have partnered with American University to do our evaluation. It's a very simple evaluation. The service members each have 2 milk jugs that the tops have been cut off. One is labeled tried it, and one is labeled liked it. Your tried it one is for the kids who tasted it, but it wasn't their favorite vegetable. And the liked it one is for the kids who tasted it and they really, really liked it. It was good for them. So the service members have a whole set of little wooden coins, wooden nickels, and the students are given a nickel and then they vote. We'll go over maybe a couple of the issues that I've come across with that so that you know. So if you're going to volunteer, what are you going to be doing for us? You are going to be doing a whole variety of things, handing out sample cups to students, encouraging students to try the item. I like the rule that if they're being a little against trying it, that you can say, you just have to take one bite. If you don't like it, you don't have to finish it. I'm okay with that. I won't be offended, We're just here to have some fun. You may be asked to chop, peel, measure, and mix ingredients for the recipe. You may be asked to portion out the recipe into the little tasting cups. You can see Brooke here with her scarf on as an OSSI employee doing a taste test at Tyler Elementary School, and she has the tray of items in their little tasting cups. A lot of times the kids get rowdy and the teachers or the staff in the cafeteria are not as helpful with getting them orderly to get to your table. So you may have to help them get in line, stay in line. Handing out stickers, the kids love the stickers. That's like their greatest part. So a lot of times we'll use them as an incentive. Oh, you took some squash to sample. Oh, I saw you try it. Here's your sticker. You want to encourage the students to cast their votes. So with this evaluation, with the real little kids, we've had some issues where the kids seem to put the tokens in their mouth. So just being mindful of that. I found that it works best if I walk around with the milk jugs in one hand and the tokens in my other hand. And I go up to a table of students and I hand them out tokens as I explain what they're supposed to do, and then I just quickly walk around that table. So the kids really only have that token for 20 seconds. And then other tasks is requested by the food court service member. You may need to wash some dishes afterwards, wipe down the table. You know, something falls on the floor, you may have to clean up something from the floor. That service member is really the point person at the school for this taste test, and you're there as their assistant. So just kind of keeping that in mind when you're going through this. So what should you wear and what should you bring with you? Wear comfortable shoes. You're going to be on your feet. Sometimes it's 4 hours, sometimes it's a little less, but from experience, the days when I wear like real thin flats or something, my back hurts a little. So wear good shoes. Wear school-appropriate clothing. I hope I don't have to tell that to everybody, but you know, nothing short, nothing super sleeveless, nothing super low cut. Be mindful of the language that's on your shirt. If it's supposed to be a play on words and there's maybe a curse word or something that looks like a curse word, just try and be a little mindful of that. Bring a photo ID. You need a photo ID usually to get into a school. You'll have to sign in at the front desk. Put your name down, show them ID, and then they'll drop you to the cafeteria or they'll get the service member to come get you. If you have long hair, bring a hair tie. It's really good food safety practice to have your hair tied back when you're handling food. So make sure that you do have either a hair tie. If you want to wear a hat or a bandana, you're welcome to do that, but you're not required. And then lastly, make sure you have a friendly face and a positive attitude. These kids really look to the adults in the room to encourage them. And so if they ask you, oh, do you eat cabbage? And you say, no, I don't really like cabbage, there's no way none of these people are going to try it. So you want to really be the one who's there advocating for them to eat the item and just to taste it and that it's really exciting and you love cooking cabbage. And if you have to fib a little bit, that's okay. And you can also encourage the parents or the teachers that are in there. If there are parent volunteers, then as well. But the taste test is meant for everybody. So a lot of times if the students see their teachers or the principals try it, they're also more likely to try it as well. So that's all of the information we have for you. We're hoping that you'll have some questions, and you can do that either by raising your hand and typing a question in, or you can do it through the chat mechanism, and we'll pull that up. And then just to finish, that if you do want to volunteer and you haven't signed up, there is a Google form. I don't think that you can click this link directly from your screen, but we'll email out the slides to you, or you can feel free to just copy it down. Every month, this Google form will change. So right now, if you click on it, you'll just see dates for January. And on a week from Friday, after the January taste test is done, the form will be updated to reflect the dates for February. So if it's something that you want to do every month or you know you want to do in March, set a reminder on your calendar with this link. And if you want to volunteer in March, on March 1st, set a reminder. And you can go in, click at the link, fill out the form. And then what I'm asking is that on the day that you pick to volunteer, block off 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. I don't know the schools that need volunteers on each day until about 2 weeks before the taste test. So if I was a volunteer and I was going to volunteer, let's say on January 23rd, and I signed up on January 3rd, I would block off 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then about a week before the taste test, Erica, myself, would send you an email, and it would say, hey, thanks for volunteering. I'm going to match you with Seed Public Charter School. You need to be there from 10:30 a.m. until 1:30 p.m. and your contact is Nick, and here's his email. So that way you'll know where you're going about a week in advance, but you won't know where you're going when you first sign up on the form. Both my contact and Melissa's contact information are on here. So if you do have any questions or you want to find out more about either of the issues we've been talking about, you can email us as well.
Yeah, you can definitely email me or call me. I guess email me if you have any questions. My phone number's not on there. And I will also send out the form at the beginning of each month, just in case you forget to set a reminder or you are not sure which link to click. I will send that out again, and I will also send out the link to our recorded webinar in case anyone who might want to volunteer. You can send that to them just so they have a better idea of what's going on, and they can contact us if they need to. But just to plug for the opportunity, I did this a couple weeks ago with my coworker Lauren from DC Hunger Solutions, and it was a blast. Like, it sounds, you are doing some work and helping cook, but I love cooking, I guess, so it's fun to cook, but it's really fun to see the students. We had one girl come back to try the carrots that we were making. I think she came back 5 times, and all the teachers were also really excited to try everything. So it was a great time, great way to kind of get out of the office for a few hours and clear my head and have some fun. So I would definitely suggest it and tell you to encourage others to do it.
Great. So Melissa and I will hang here for just a couple minutes to see if we get any questions. And if you don't have any questions, you're free to sign off, and we'll send you that link for the webinar. But if you do have questions, we'll be here for a couple minutes. And we thank you all so much for participating and for volunteering. Your help means a lot to us. So Linda, it looks like you have a question. So if you'd like to type that into the question box or into the chat box, whichever you can do easily. Okay, so we have a question. What happens next? After the Harvest of the Month program concludes in May, are there any other plans for promoting good nutrition in schools? That's a great question, so absolutely. There's a ton of programs that OSSI is running through our programming here in general that are not associated with this grant. So first of all, Food Corps will be here for the next couple years or more. And a big part of what they do is promoting good nutrition in schools. They eat with the kids when they can. They do nutrition education lessons. They're taking the students out to the garden. In terms of sustainability from this grant, our plan is to use our Healthy Schools Act funding to continually to print these marketing materials that you've seen and provide them as a toolkit to vendors or community-based organizations or schools directly that want to continue this program. So, for instance, Chartwells is a large vendor in DC, and they do a lot of their own marketing. But a smaller vendor, like a Graceful Affairs, who does some of the charter schools here in DC, they don't have as much of a budget to do this large marketing campaign. but they may be able to do staff once a month to promote an item. So we could give them all of the materials, and they could promote cabbage in January and squash in November. And they can continue on that programming by themselves. Additionally, we have a nutrition education specialist here at OSSI who her job is to work on programming that promotes good nutrition in schools. So that's working with teachers and training teachers on their own nutrition, as well as how to incorporate nutrition into their classroom. She's currently working on a Healthy Schools Act approved book list so that librarians and teachers who have reading corners can make sure that there are books in their classrooms and in the libraries that are based around healthy eating and healthy lifestyle. So we have a ton of programs like that. OSSI's website is a great place to find some of these resources. So if you're interested in looking further, you can visit that. We're just OSSI.dc.gov.
And also, I know that DC Hunger Solutions, as long as they're the food corps members in schools this year and next year, we'd love to keep partnering with OSSI to promote nutrition. And also, once we have materials, there's a possibility there will be an opportunity for volunteers to go in without the food corps members, but to go in and talk to students about the school meals and do some, probing of, why they may not like them or why they may not eating them, or if they are eating them, what they love about them, just to kind of keep that momentum going and keep promoting the school meals and the local ingredients. So, even if you only do 1 month of Harvest of the Month or program and volunteer once, definitely, stay in touch with us and keep looking out for some notices because we may be sending out some things about some other opportunities.
Okay, great. Well, doesn't look like we're having any more questions, so we are going to sign off now. If something does come up, like we said, feel free to email Melissa and myself, and we will happily answer any of those issues that do arise. So thank you for participating, and we are looking forward to having you in the schools.